Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeremy Hohola. A shooting in a park in Aurora has taken the life of a teenage girl. She was only 14 years old. This happened at a party involving up to 100 people. 2 other teenagers were also shot. As police try to find the suspects, 9 News reporter Janelle Finch sat down with people who are familiar with this type of violence and who are trying to help.
Highlands Hollow Park is wiped clean of Saturday night's deadly shooting. But Joel Hodge
It's hard.
knows trauma isn't so easily erased. Hodge runs Struggle of Love Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to youth violence prevention.
It's just this poison and this disease that's going through our community that's lasting and lasting and getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
He says he showed up after the shooting to offer support.
Yeah.
Some of them are just coming to, hey, I just want to hang out. And then bam, this happens. Now they're traumatized for the rest of their life.
Police say around 9:15 p.m., a party turned into a fight that ended with gunshots. First responders transported 3 teenage girls with injuries. Police say 1 died at the hospital. She was 14.
It's traumatic for the community, it's traumatic for the kids, and it's also traumatic for us.
Jason McBride says this conversation is one he's had too many times.
This is a problem. It could be catastrophic for our community, and it is turning out to be, because we're losing the only natural resources that we have as Black people, and that's our young people.
He says this won't be the last time he says these words, as long as youth programs and resources go unsupported.
Our kids are living in this trauma.
And this won't be the last time a family learns to live with permanent consequences of teen violence.
The families that's being traumatized right now, that lost one of their babies to attending a gathering that they should be able to party peacefully, hang out peacefully. It's disturbing.
Aurora police say investigators are looking into several leads on a suspect, but no one is in custody yet. Police say the shooting stemmed from within inside the party, and this was not a random act of violence. In the studio, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Thank you, Janelle. 14 years old. Let's hope the families get answers soon. Illegal fireworks sparked an overnight fire in the Willow Spring open space. That's in Centennial near East Arapahoe Road and South Holly Street. South Metro Fire says it happened at around midnight. Flames actually got pretty close to the neighborhood, but luckily did not spread to any homes. Firefighters say they found mortar-style fireworks outside of the open space and a trash can filled with illegal fireworks. They say they don't have any suspects just yet. And firefighters are making progress on the Oak Ridge fire near Beulah, Colorado. Today it is now 59% contained compared to 50% yesterday. It has burned 1,200 acres so far, and nearly 700 firefighters are working this fire. The weather has been in their favor for now. The Oak Ridge fire started just over 2 weeks ago. It's believed it was caused by lightning. And let's talk about the weather. Remarkably cool here in the Denver area. Chris Spears to talk about that. I guess, you know, we can enjoy it for a little while, right, Chris?
For a little while.
Yeah.
Today, tomorrow, and maybe a little bit of Tuesday, and then things are really going to change around here, Jeremy. We had just enough instability today to kick up a handful of showers and thunderstorms around the state. And here in the metro area, right now, watching a little strong cell out near Byers. Some pretty good lightning and thunder coming out of that. And from Castle Rock over toward Kiowa, right there along Highway 86, a little line of showers with occasional lightning strikes. We'll call those occasional thunderstorms. Up north, there's a little band here from Estes Park through Loveland and Greeley, extends out toward Raymer. That may slide south and still make it through the metro area yet today. The big action has been that storm that formed way up in Weld County. It's currently sitting in parts of southeastern Washington County, and it is strong enough to have a severe warning on it for Kit Carson County. So some large hail possible out of this one, and we have had some storms as well down in the Colorado Springs area and points to the east. The main forecast headline for this week ahead, it is going to be storms ending tonight, sunny and mild tomorrow, and Jeremy turning hot. You may not believe some of the numbers I have on our extended forecast. We'll take a look at that coming up.
It's summertime. A restaurant in Golden is all clear tonight after employees were exposed to chemicals after a fire outside that restaurant. This happened last night at the Golden Mill restaurant on Ford Street. Golden Fire says an electric one-wheel scooter caught on fire near the patio of that restaurant. The restaurant was then evacuated while employees put out the fire using a fire extinguisher, but then 4 of them were exposed to the chemicals in that process. They were treated on scene. Hazmat crews worked to see what cleanup needed to be done, and they later determined it was safe to reopen the patio today. Tomorrow, Colorado's newest congressman is set to be sworn in. Republican Greg Lopez won the special election in Congressional District 4 to fill the last 6 months of Republican former Congressman Ken Buck's term. The district covers Douglas County, Loveland, and the Eastern Plains. Lopez is a long-ago mayor of Parker, more recently an unsuccessful GOP candidate for governor. He will likely be replaced next year by Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. She won the Republican primary to continue to the Congressional District 4 general election in a reliably red district. Tomorrow, Aurora City councilors will decide if voters will see another pit bull question on the November ballot. Aurora voters banned pit bulls back in 2014. Then in 2021, City Council lifted that ban. A man who voted to ban the breed filed a lawsuit claiming the city disregarded the choices of the people they represent. An Aurora district judge ruled in favor of that man in April, saying the ordinance could only be changed by another vote. If City Council decides to put the issue on the ballot in November again, the city estimates it'll have to pay nearly $300,000 because it's a special city election question. On Thursday, the former owners of the Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose are scheduled to be in court. Prosecutors expect them to enter not guilty pleas leading to a potential trial date. The Halfords are accused of improperly storing nearly 200 bodies at their Penrose funeral home. According to an email to victims' families, the deal is for the Halfords to plead guilty to nearly 200 counts of abuse of a corpse. John Halford would get 20 years in prison, and Carrie would get between 15 and 20. A woman whose mother was among the remains says this does not feel like justice.
These people's families were in this building for up to 4 years. My daughter was there for 4 years, piled on top of somebody else, decaying, and she's only worth 1.25 months worth of jail time for these monsters. I don't get that at all.
John and Carrie Halford are also facing federal charges for fraud for misusing COVID relief money. A new memorial in Colorado Springs is also honoring the funeral home victims and their families. Families bought a metal bench with the money that people have donated for families affected by this. It has a plaque with a message of remembrance and peace.
It's making me so emotional because of what we've been through. What we've gone through this last year. It's just been awful, and to have something beautiful come from something so ugly.
This week, the El Paso County Parks Department will plant flowers around that area. On Wednesday, sentencing is scheduled for an 83-year-old man from Inglewood convicted of killing his wife and daughter with an axe. This happened in March of last year. Reginald McLaren originally told police he planned to kill his wife Bethany and daughter Ruth to prevent the family from becoming homeless after he lost his job. But evidence shows that the family did have money. Annie Hines with the Colorado-Nepal Alliance has been keeping in touch with the family for the past year.
A few days after the murder, the Arapahoe County Coroner's Office contacted Colorado-Nepal Alliance to see if we could assist finding family members of the 2 victims. By the end of the week, we had found their relatives in India.
The victim's family is planning a trip to Colorado this summer to visit their grave sites. 6 years in a child's life is a long time. A boy becomes a teenager graduates high school. The Bigelow family is experiencing all of that, but without their oldest boy. Vaughn Jr., known as Bubba, was killed when he was only 13. He was with his mom and brothers on the way to the dentist's office when a road rage incident unfolded. A driver followed them and shot them in the parking lot. Megan and Asa Bigelow were critically hurt. Megan spent days trying to know what happened.
Signed Asa. And then it was signed Cooper, but I couldn't remember P, E, and R. And then I'd be like, Bubba. So I didn't find out about I think I found out about Asa first. But Vaughn didn't tell me about Bubba until, I don't even remember. It was probably 10 days, a week to 10 days after.
Tonight, we'll hear from Megan about that day and how the family is doing what they can to never let anyone forget Bubba. You can see that story on 9 News at 9 and 10 over on Channel 9.